Testing 1 2 1 2. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to Man of Prestige Live. Welcome back. Welcome to you, Man of Prestige. Welcome to you, ladies. Thank you for stopping by. We're gonna have a good time as usual. I've got a deck of cards to share with you today. Let me just make sure I go ahead and block the butt. Awesome. So we're gonna have a good time. We're live taping as usual. Please do us a favor. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, share this platform with the people that you know will find it entertaining, educational. I try to bring the best of both, right? And that's what we're talking about here today. So thank you so much for stopping by as usual. Now, I got some really cool stuff, some reaction videos to do with you today. And of course, today we're talking about none other than the beautiful Nischelle Turner, right? Nischelle Turner. I think she's on Entertainer tonight. We're going to talk about that. And of course, today we're going to also bring Miss Courtney Nischelle to the stage. Some of you may not know who Miss Courtney is. We're going to bring her to the pulpit. We need to pray for her. And also today we will talk about, we'll do some comment reaction. As usual, we'll do some, well, not usual. Sometimes we do that. We'll do some comment reaction. Also, I'm going to be pulling my brother Bernard Riley to the stage. It's one of the guys that's really kicking butt in the manosphere space. I am a fan, just like I'm a fan of Miss Courtney Nischelle. I'm a fan of Bernie. I don't think he Bernard Riley. Okay. I'm also obviously we're gonna be bringing our brother Lapeef to the stage. We're gonna be reacting to some of the videos from that platform. So I am a platform of all of these different platforms that we react to, respond to, and my goal is to basically pull out some of the lessons and add some context. There's no right and wrong in what we talk about here. Obviously, what's right for you. If you feel you're right, you're right. You have the right to be right. You have the right to be wrong also. If consequences come from mistakes, that's just the life experience. But my goal here is to shed some light on some things, add some context. Maybe I can help one or two people. Maybe I can add some value to someone's life, right? I know for sure that we're already doing that. So thank you for those of you that leave lots of comments. This is why I have to keep doing comment reactions to make sure that you understand that I'm listening, I am learning, and we're going to have a good time, as usual. We're gonna have a good time. All right, so let's see here. Without any further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. Awesome, welcome back. So the first person we're going to talk about today is Nischelle Turner. She's a young 47 years young lady, who I think she still works for Entertainment Tonight. I'm not sure. But basically, she's the headliner today. Basically, she wants an educated thug. And guess who's mad, right? So without any further ado, I'm just going to play that small clip for you really quickly. I guess it's from a new podcast. Everyone is doing a podcast these days. I'm not mad at them. There's a lot of attention in podcast, right? So let's play this clip, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about it in a second.
I was trying to find my way. So I'm taking them off.
Okay, there is a thing about a tatted man that I really, really like. And I think that you can...
So this video is used in fair use. I try to use based on the fair use guidelines. And this video is credited to, obviously, Shaq O'Neal and his new podcast and mtonews.com. Let's keep going. I think it's an ad on there, by the way.
Be like, fix this in your head because I don't know another phrase to say, but like an educated thug. That's the vibe that a tatted up fella that's doing his own thing gives you. I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, T-Mac, you in there. She said
I don't
fella.
know if I
You in
want
there.
my kids to have a dad as an educated thug.
All right. So he completely missed the point. I don't think she means educated thug in that way. For those of you that are Nigerians, I want to share something with you. I think I've spoken to quite a few Nigerian girls, Nigerian young ladies, right? And they want a mix of Baba Deboye and Hush Puppy. Some of you may not know who Hush Puppy is. Let me go ahead and share that with you really quickly so we can, let's pull up Google. I'll share with you who those people are. One of them is the biggest ever scam artist out of Nigeria. Unfortunately, that's not how we like to represent Nigeria, but it happens. Like many other countries out there, right? So let me see if I can share this with you really quickly. So um, this is E.A. Adeboye is probably the biggest, most influential clergyman in Nigeria. He heads the church called the Redeemed Christian Church of God. This guy right here, as a matter of fact, I think he just turned 80 yesterday. So happy birthday to Baba Deboye. Now, let's go to Hush Puppy. Let's pull up who Hush Puppy is. Hush Puppy is already coming up, as a matter of fact. And this is the Hush Puppy guy, right? This guy was picked up by the feds, the United States feds from Dubai, and he was expedited straight to Chicago. I think he's still locked up somewhere in Chicago or Los Angeles. I'm not sure. He actually pleaded guilty. This is him being picked up. Let me see. Let me make sure that you can see this, as a matter of fact. All right, good. That's this guy right here, all right? So that's him being picked up, right? So imagine a mix of this guy, obviously the flashy lifestyle, right? As a matter of fact, I think we may be able to go to his Instagram page. Let's go to his Instagram page, right? 39 years old, right? 2.7 million followers. I mean, it was kind of obvious to everybody that he was scamming someone, right? Until he got picked up last year. But this was his last post about 91 weeks ago, shortly before he got picked up. This is 2020, right? So he's been locked up since then. And this is him, right? So Nigerian girls, right? They want a mix of this guy. For those of you that think Nigerian girls are that, or African girls are different, or Thailand girls are different from American girls, you're fooling yourself. You know, especially if you're going into another westernized city, no matter where you go in the world, as long as it's westernized, like for example, Lagos, Nigeria, a lot of the girls in Lagos or Abuja are westernized, unless you want to go straight into the village, in which case there's a good chance you'll be missing out some other values. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But the point here is that girls, westernized girls around the world, they want a mix of this guy who lived in the what they call it, Versace building, something like that in Dubai. This was the lifestyle. It was flashing all over the place, right? And this man right here, who is a clergyman, is a preacher, right? 80 years old man. Nigerian girls want a mix of good and bad guy. American girl, 47 years old, Miss Turner. Let's look at her page. This is our Instagram page right here. All right. Let's see here. That's her right there. Anyway, I mean, you can see her on our page. She wants, like we've already shown here, right? She wants an educated thug. Why, right? And why are people mad about this, right? By the way, there's nothing new about this. Okay, most women, especially modern women, they like a little bit of rough on the edge. That's just what it is, right? They don't necessarily like to admit it. See, that's the problem. One of the problems of a lot of people in this space is that they try to get them to admit it. That's not how this works. Okay. Not only are they not gonna admit it, they're not necessarily aware. See, you have at least one person here putting it into words, right? They're saying, hey, that's what I like, educated thugs. He said she likes a guy that started all over his body, right? And guess who's mad? All the good guys, all the Mr. Nice guys, all the guys who felt like, wait, I've walked a straight line all my life. Why the hell would this fine chick right here, actually, maybe I don't want her. She's actually hit the wall. She's way over the wall, right? But maybe I do want her. She's fine as hell. I mean, at the age of 47, you can't cap that she's a pretty lady, right? So now she could get anything she wants, but she probably won't settle for anything. And when I say anything, I'm not talking about money. I'm sure there's probably a lot of guys with money, high value men, basically falling to her feet, wanting to marry her. And if you don't believe that, you're capping, okay? Maybe you're not capping. Maybe you're not exposed enough to see this. But she's probably turning people down, right? And she probably just doesn't want to settle for anything less than high emotional intelligence. That's what most people are missing. Is either high emotional intelligence or social intelligence. For example, if you misinterpret what she just said, right, as to mean she actually wants a tattered ghetto thug, if you misinterpret that, that's probably one of your problems. That's not what she's talking about. Here's what she's talking about, okay? Here's what she's talking about. I would like to share something with you. Let's go to Google. There's something called the 6 emotional human needs, right? I'm not sure if Tony Robbins came up with this, but I know he teaches it a lot. 6 emotional human needs. All right? And I'll share with you. So it's not just her, right? Actually, we could just use this page right here. Okay? It's right there. We have love and connection. Every human being needs this. Okay? Love/connection. Okay? Basically, to feel a sense of connection to another person. Okay? From a romantic standpoint. Okay? Every human being craves this. Now, people may get into a space where they've gone through some experience and they just want to go their way. I understand that. But nonetheless, the reason why you're going your way from where? From this point where you're naturally craving for this, right? The second thing that most human beings, especially ladies, is variety. They don't like things to be predictable, right? If you are extremely predictable, that lowers attraction level. Very simple. That lowers interest level, right? Why? Because anything that's readily available is taken for granted. This is true across board. There's no exception to this rule, okay? So everyone wants some kind of variety. Now watch this. Everyone wants significance. They want to feel important in society, right? All right. So now the actual need that I would attribute to this young lady wanting an educated thug is, well, she wants a good thing, education, but she wants the thug. The thug represents variety. And the education, we're going to talk about that in a second, the significance, you can probably put that under education or education under significance, because the higher, the more educated you are, the probably better chance that you're going to have a higher status in society. You know, contrary to popular belief that people that go to school don't necessarily get rich, it doesn't matter. We're talking about just status, okay? Certainty, the educated thug, right? The educated part of it definitely brings some type of certainty. She's not throwing herself to the wolves and say, hey, any thug can pick me up. She's saying educated thug. So education represents certainty and the thug represents variety, right? This is how you should interpret that. Don't interpret this like another lame person out there, okay? Growth. Education would represent growth, right? Contribution. Education will represent contribution, right? So this is the interpretation of when a person says, I want a mix of Pastor Adeboye and Hush Puppy, or when an American girl says, hey, I want an educated thug. That is the interpretation, right? So if you misinterpret this and you go out there and you say, hey, this is the problem, that's why she's way over the wall. Well, your problem is, not only is her problem a lot deeper than that, if she interprets that as a problem, I doubt if at this point she's interpreting that as a problem. There's a high likelihood that she is. Nobody wants to, like I said, one of the basic human needs is love and connection. Everyone wants that. So I'm sure she wants that as well, right? But again, I don't think it's as simple as these 6 layers right here. I think human beings are a little bit more complicated than that, right? And it makes sense to me that at her status, I mean, she's worked for forever. Um, she's worked as a professional journalist forever. She probably makes multiple six figures multiple times over. So she probably just won't feel the need to settle for anything, right? Because if all you bring to the table is money, she probably will pass every single time, right? Because she doesn't have to. And she's probably getting more comfortable being single too. The older you get, if you're single, the more comfortable you get. The easier it is for you to say, no, I'll pass, right? Now, when you get really, really old, 60, 70, things may change, but that's a different story for another day. But I want to shed some light on this. When a girl comes to you, for the gentleman, you're young, and you're like, this woman, this woman, this woman, and you start speaking at the top of your lung, or yelling at the top of your lung because you feel like there's no woman that wants any good guy anymore. That is not true. That's actually false, okay? As a matter of fact, they want that. But they also don't want you to be lame. They also don't want you to not have good social skills, emotional skills. Now, they may not be able to say that in those exact words. They just not feel any kind of arousal, right? They just won't feel attracted to you. They will have a hard time submitting to you. Yes, conditional submission, right? They will have a hard time trusting your masculine core, right? They will have a hard time because again, you can't even stand on you probably like you have no confidence. You can't speak for yourself, and the energy, the vibes. If I play that clip one more time and you listen to what she's saying clearly, it was more so about the vibes. Okay, and let me play that. As a matter of fact, let me play it one more time. Let's see here. There you go. Boom.
And I was trying to find my way. So I'm taking them off.
Okay, there is a thing about a tatted man that I really, really like. And I think that you can be like,
I mean, there's tons of tatted men. She could have been married if that's really all she wants, right?
Like, fix this in your head because I don't know another phrase to say, but like an educated thug. That's the vibe that a tatted.
She said that's the vibe. She didn't say that's the exact guy. She said that's the vibe, right? So, but of course, as
fella
usual,
that's doing his own thing gives.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, T-Mac, you in there. She said
I don't
fella.
know if I
You in
want
there.
my kids to have a dad as an educated thug. Oh.
all right. So you get the gist. It's a vibe, okay? The ladies want variety, but they want certainty, right? They want growth. They want to be sure. But they also don't want you to be like this rigid square guy who you're predictable. We know exactly what time you're going into your office at the time of the day, and everything is predictable. Yeah, it gets dry at that point in time, and it's not something they control. They don't get to control this. See, attraction is not something you control at that level. Not even yours, not hers, right? But one thing you can learn is you can learn how these things work, and you can reverse engineer it in your favor. All right, welcome back. So let's talk about Courtney Michelle. I am Courtney Michelle, right? She has a platform on YouTube. Go ahead and follow her. She has some great content. She is still part of the Lapif Network, which I am also a fan of. So there's this video here that I feel like we're going to learn a lot from. I'm going to play it, right? And we're using this within the fair use guidelines. So let's get to it.
I had a couple questions for you. One is, do you think that someone can bring out the best in you?
More details, please.
Like a person, you're in a relationship with a person. Do you think that there's a person that can bring out the best in you?
Yes.
So you do believe that someone can bring.
This was a setup. He didn't get it, right? Do you think someone can bring the best out of you? She didn't say. I guess this will fall within the gender war topic, right? She didn't say, do you think a girl can bring the worst or the best out of you? She didn't say, do you think a guy can bring the. She didn't say none of that. She made it generic, right?
Bring out the worst in you.
Yes.
So, do you believe that a man can bring out the most feminine in a woman?
No.
Nah. Not if she's on a like I said, if she's on a trajectory.
Nope.
No, just listen what I'm saying.
Okay.
She on a line graph logic.
I'm listening.
She's listening.
Not if she was. See, y'all deny the simple facts, right? That these women.
Wait. Y'all ignore the simple facts. No, she gave you a simple question. You answered, but somehow the rules of that question is about. You're about to move the goalpost, basically. Let's keep going.
I'm just saying. Look,
You ain't answering my questions now.
These women are raised to be like.
Wait. Anytime you find yourself as a young man saying this women, I keep saying that. See, it's not about that. It's just something. There's a correlation that I've noticed, right? I could be wrong sometimes. Trust me, I could be wrong, okay? I'll be the first to tell you when that happens. But so far, I'm not wrong. People that tend to start their statement with these women, they tend to actively be engaged in the gender war. Now, I like Mr. Logic. He is the gift that keeps giving when it comes to content, right? So you can't make this up, right? These women, let's see what these women have done this time around. Let's go back a little bit.
Not if she was. See, y'all deny the simple facts, right? That these women. I'm just saying. Look,
You ain't answering my questions now.
These women are raised to be like men, to compete against men.
They're raised to be like men. Now, I'm not disputing that. That's true to some extent. It depends on what we're talking about. We need real life examples, right? But of course, in this space, we often find ourselves talking in generics and worst case scenario only. Generics or general or worst case scenario. We're either talking in general or we're talking in worst case scenario. We never bring up the best case scenario, right? All right, let's keep going.
And all their lives.
So you're not answering my question.
No, it's not.
You believe someone can bring out the best in someone, but you don't believe that a man can bring out the most her femininity at the top degree.
No, because at some point,
how are the two different?
It is different.
All right, so one of the problems that I have with this point is that the ladies, let me say the ladies. I don't want to group them against each other. But particularly Courtney seems a lot more calmer and patient in getting the answer out of him, right? And it seems like he was about to lose his patience earlier, right? All right, granted, it's entertainment, right? But nonetheless, these things are real. Cap, okay? These things are real, okay? Okay, it's not that deep, but it's still entertainment, okay? We can still learn some lessons from this. Just watch his mannerism, just watch his demeanor, and watch that. It seems like Courtney is trying to bring the structure, safety, and security into this conversation. She's the one actively trying to do that, okay? And he's talking about, we're talking about femininity right now, right? We're talking about masculinity and femininity, right? Let's keep going.
Because at some points, it's nothing left in these chicks.
But no, because it's a contradiction. If someone can bring out the best in you, that means, as far as in a woman, that means a man can bring out her femininity out more.
I mean, based on his admission earlier, that's what he said. That was his answer. Yes. And then he said yes a second time. Can somebody bring the best out of you? Yes. Can somebody bring the worst out of you? Yes. Now, granted, femininity and masculinity are not necessarily best or worse. It depends on what we're talking about. It depends on what context. Those things are not about right and wrong. They are just energy. Masculine energy, feminine energy. They can be misplaced, and then you have chaos, right? All right, so let's keep going. So it's not necessarily best and worst. Just wanted to point that out.
JR.
Do you see what I'm saying? So you're contradicting yourselves.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you.
I love singing, and vaping was affecting my ability
All right,
to
they're
do
getting
that.
paid.
I
Let's do
would get
that.
short of breath.
These
Skip.
women are programmed.
I mean, I think
Well, if that's the case, then
These women are programmed. Forget the fact that we're all programmed by society, social constructs. Forget that. These women, let's just laser focus on this women. They are programmed, right? All right. So, and somehow they are programmed to be masculine only, right? First of all, that's false. There's no such thing. Every human being has masculine and feminine in them. The social construct that we live in permits men to be more so in their masculine energy because they are more so in their essence, not just that, also from a biological standpoint, right? For the women social constructs are more so accepted when they're in their feminine energy, meaning they can receive and multiply. They're not expected to bring anything to the table in terms of structure, security, safety, provision, all of the above, right? But things are changing. Things are changing, and we're watching it right before our eyes, and that's why you're seeing the gender war. You can tap that all the way back to too much information. When people know too much, they start to think that they know more than God, right? Let's keep going on both sides, by the way.
and there's
Wait, you gonna let me answer though? I'm telling you. All right, from when these young women is in kindergarten.
So try your best next time you're having a conversation. Yes, I'm teaching you and policing you how to talk. Yes. Okay. That's what you come here to do. Okay. Try your best next time. If somebody talks over you, even if it's a man, okay, let them talk. If you're really that much in a rush, just get out of the platform, get out of the stage, get out of the context, right? But if you're having a conversation and they have something to say, it seems like they're talking over you. The best way to showcase your power, your emotional power, we're going to talk about that, is to let them shut up and let them talk. Whoever talks first when they're talking over themselves loses the battle. It's the same thing in sales. It's the same thing in any kind of relationship. You have to learn how to be okay with this. Okay, I'll let you finish. Just say, I'll let you finish. Okay, yeah, finish. I'm hearing you. Once they're done, all right, then you can say something. It doesn't matter if it's man or woman, especially if you're a man talking to a woman, right? If you attach your sense of power to who talks first or who talks louder, you lose that battle that really never existed in the first place. Just keep that in mind.
Their program to compete against men.
Raise my camera up.
They go through K through.
They've been programmed to compete against the men in society in terms of from a professional standpoint. But we know something, they're still not competing. I mean, it's part of the manosphere talking points that women are not going to come to the factory and do some of the heavy work. Most of them are not going to become a plumber. Most of them are not going to become a construction worker. We say these things, but then we forget to remind ourselves when it's time to prove something else, right? But let's keep going, okay? They've been programmed so much, but yet they avoid construction worker, right? And plumbing work and building society from a physical standpoint, right? So we're contradicting. See, Courtney is calling out, she's calling us out that we're contradicting ourselves. I need you to pay attention to that, gentlemen.
12 programming to compete against men. Nothing these women been taught, and then y'all can do it anyway. Because guess what?
Logic,
Y'all
that doesn't make sense.
y'all gotta do all this.
Well,
All right, Anton, back off. But he's, to his credit, he does catch this kind of stuff sometimes, okay? But I need this to play out clean, okay? Thank you, Anton.
Go to college, y'all do all this, and then
That don't make sense though, because what Courtney is saying is, you said you.
All right, so this is the point where we say Anton is pandering or he's being a simp because he's simply about to support a woman, right? All right, I'm just, hey, let me keep my foot on your neck, manosphere, okay? Allow me, thank you. All right, let's. So he's making a point there. I just want him to back off because I need Mr. Logic to fall flat on his face on this particular topic right here, right?
You said that a woman can bring out the best in you, but you can't bring out the best in her. So you saying it's only one way?
No,
Pretty much.
no, it's not one way. But what I'm telling you is when something is programmed to do something.
Something. Not women compared to something. What is it, like this thing? Programmed to give me some word? All right. All right. So, but let's keep going. I guess it's a stretch, okay? She just meant someone programmed. Okay. All right.
They program to be that way.
Okay, well, take the programming out of it.
No, Courtney, we can't take the programming out of it. This is Mr. Logic talking. He's speaking logic, all facts, no emotions, right?
Because the same person, and this is okay, you can take the programming out of it, because if you're saying that someone can bring out the best in someone, that's period. So if a woman can bring out the best in you and you can bring out the best in a woman, then the program.
Accept your femininity, okay? Accept that part, Courtney, all right? Accept that part.
I mean, it doesn't have to do anything.
Yes, but what I'm telling you, in a lot of these women, that what you're talking about, being feminine, it don't exist in them.
All right. Being feminine don't exist in a lot of women. Here, all right. So I want to do something really quickly. Let me do this really quickly. Let me pull up the definition of femininity, because I think this is important at this point. I've been saying it forever on this platform. Well, not too long ago, but I think at this point I should just put it here, because I've heard a few times over the last few days, people misusing that word, right? All right, but let's see. It says femininity, or called womanliness, is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles generally associated with women and girls. Okay. All right. So femininity, I think a lot of time we're alluding to feminine energy, right? But this is a dictionary meaning, right? Okay. We are seeing this in Wikipedia as well. Let's see. It's also some evidence that some behaviors considered feminine are influenced by both cultural factors and biological factors. Okay, so generally associated with women and girls, right? Generally, right? All right. Now let's check out feminine energy. Feminine energy refers to a specific set of traits. Okay. So feminine energy is considered to be the opposite of traits associated with masculine energy. Your masculine side gets expressed when you're working toward a goal, making progress, getting things done. All right, so that's not too, let's see. Let's go into this right here. All right, so because of the social construct, here's what we find. Because of the social construct, the feminine energy or femininity, right, is associated more with the female gender. But that's all cultural, I guess, social, and biological, from a biological standpoint, right? So there's some feminine energy, but from a psychological standpoint, right, the feminine energy is designed to simply receive and multiply. Okay, receive and multiply. So that means the masculine energy, whatever it wants in terms of coming from the feminine energy, must be provided as a seed first before it can be received and then multiplied and then reciprocated. That's just the way it works. If you need more evidence, that's what I do here. I basically showcase that from time to time. But let's watch this play out. Now, she's supposed to be the woman, and she's probably more comfortable being in a womanliness, right? The femininity, right? Energy, right? The feminine energy. But right now we're saying, no, she's supposed to produce femininity by herself, regardless of what's going on in society, regardless of how the masculine energy presents, regardless if there was presence of masculinity or not. What he's saying is that the society has programmed more women to be more masculine. That may be true to some extent at a professional setting, professional level, but from what I've seen so far, from what I've seen so far, I've been around for 42 years, right? My adult life a little bit more than 20 years, right? What I've seen so far is that is absolutely false at all levels when it comes to romantic context. Okay, most women, not all, there's always exceptions to the rule, Mr. Logic. We know that from a logical standpoint, right? But most women absolutely naturally want to submit, receive, multiply, and then reciprocate. See, the problem is that, reciprocate is all the way at the end of that cycle. The problem is that we're looking for reciprocation. We're looking to take as soon as you engage a woman, right? And this is what we mean when we say, hey, most of them are raised to be masculine. Well, if you show up a certain type of way, you're arguing with women, you're competing with a woman at any level, right? You're competing with her, you become equal to her. And of course, if you're equal to her, you're confirming what you just said, which is she's been groomed to compete with you, especially if you're helping her, right? So again, this conversation is an example of competing with a woman. No, she's supposed to bring femininity, right? As opposed to, like, wait, I got power as a man. As a man, hopefully I'm in my masculine frame. I have the ability to pull femininity out of this woman, right? But of course, most modern men, they're not that enlightened. It's either they're not that enlightened, or they don't have the skill set, or they have some bad experiences and they're not willing to heal properly. All right, let's keep going.
So what's the best in a woman?
Just what I'm saying.
Logic.
So you don't
Oh,
say logic. Say logic.
All right, hold on.
Logic.
Hey,
Do you
wait.
think that-
Now, you know what Anton is saying? I don't know, logical. Anton, like myself, I don't like disagreeing with men. I try to be on code, but it's extremely difficult in this space. It's extremely difficult in these times that we live in to be on some random stupid code when I know that it's completely off, right? So you see, Anton, it's not really comfortable. I don't know, logic, right? That's how I feel most of the time. Just so you know, okay?
Hey, let me just,
Kayla.
if you don't let me finish, you won't understand what I'm saying. So you will just rambling, you know what I'm saying, roll at me. These women has been programmed.
No, you've been
Like
saying that same thing 5 times.
Okay, because
You said it
apparently
5
you're not
times.
getting it. So
Okay, so now Kayla is, she's beautiful. She's been in her feminine energy. That's what a lot of people call feminine energy. You don't even know her, but you're calling just because she's quiet feminine energy. Anywho, right? She's been in her feminine energy based on most people's interpretation of what that is, right? But the masculine is about to come out because you're repeating yourself. You're not bringing any kind of core to the conversation. You sound like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So now, naturally, she will need to bring that structure, safety, security into the equation. When she feels the need to do that, we call that masculine energy. It's not wrong. It's just what will naturally happen when a woman doesn't feel safe and secure around you. You can translate that to romantic context as well. Same thing. Okay, but even in simple conversations like this, you can see it play out. It's neither right nor wrong. It's just what we're looking at. It's the result you're creating with your own mouth and your own energy. It's very simple. Okay, let's keep going. Almost done.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up.
all right, go,
Yes,
go.
stand up. Make your point. Make the point.
And guess what? And this right here shows that you've been programmed to do exactly what you're programmed
Really,
to do.
logic? I'm trying to say something.
Oh, wait. The way I just called this out, he's calling her out. This right here, you've been programmed. Yes, stop the cap. Stop the cap.
You talking about
I'm just telling you.
you've been
You saw
rambling
this
on
right here.
for
You-
30
Well,
minutes.
Like that.
Or Mr. Logic, it could mean that the same way that someone can bring out the best, someone can bring out the worst. So maybe.
All right, so again, Courtney, the champion in this conversation, she's actively trying to help this dude. She's bringing the structure, safety. She's actually in a masculine energy. Women are generally, like we just read earlier, supposed to be in their feminine energy, not feel the need to help you align your thoughts. But she's active like, wait, let me see. Like, see, when a woman is in a cerebral, right, that's masculine energy, by all means, okay? Because naturally, she, right, you know, if I'm not at work, why should I need to use my brain? I'm just having a conversation, fun, varieties. We just need to fly like butterfly, right? But now she's actively on that side. I don't know what side of the brain, right? I always forget, right? Where she needs to help this man, Mr. Logic, align his thoughts because he himself agreed earlier that you can bring the worst and the best out of people, but now he's saying, no, wait, that statement all by itself is conditional. As long as we're not talking about black women, right, then that may be true. But right now, that's not true, right? But you can see Courtney sitting like, wait, I think I can help Mr. Logic. Let me try it one more time. Now you've put this beautiful lady in a position of masculine energy where she has to think for you. This happens all the time. It's neither right nor wrong. It's not an indictment. I'm just hiding some content so you can learn how to read these things when you see it play out. The way most people use the term masculine and feminine energy is wrong. Completely wrong. Okay, let's keep going. And I don't even like saying the word right and wrong, so I'm triggered now.
The women that you are seeing so masculine, that woman was masculine used because the energy that you was giving her was bringing out the worst, the most masculine. Because I believe a man will shut the shit out of Kayla.
He do it all the time.
What?
She said he do all the time. She's saying, I have a man that brings the feminine energy out of me all the time. That doesn't mean shut up, by the way. It means she's comfortable to just be a woman. Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Courtney, you kind of broke up. Say that last statement. You kind of broke up.
I said there's a man that will shut the shit out of Kayla.
That's a fact. Every woman, not every woman, most women, a typical woman has that guy who pulls that feminine energy out of her. If you're not that guy, you're just not that guy. It's not the end of the world. That's not an indictment. You just got to recognize if it happens to be a consistent thing. If every time you engage with another young lady, it's like the masculine energy, it's like it's consistent. That's just you. That's not the modern woman. That's just you. That's not to negate the fact that women absolutely can provide for themselves today. They don't need to submit to you just because you are a man. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works in 2022, right? And bitching and crying about that is definitely feminine energy. It makes it worse. You perpetuate what is already going on. All right?
Shake. You said shake.
Shake. Shut a mouth. Not
shut their
not
mouth.
physically.
Exactly what
So
you
it
meant.
takes a certain
Right.
man to handle Kayla.
Well, I don't want to. I don't know.
can handle it.
I don't
He
know
can
if
handle
that's
it.
the
Yep.
case. But what I'm saying is that
Yeah. I think that's it right there. That's it right there. I have another one from the People Network coming up, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So, really quickly, let's do some comment reactions. We've been having some fun here. The channel is still absolutely blowing up. We're getting about 1,500 to 2,000 views every 48 hours. All thanks to Tariq Nasheed and O'Shea Duke Jackson. Okay, so I want to give credit to all whom credit is due, especially their brand name. That's just how YouTube works. So I want to keep engaging you, ladies and gentlemen, with regards to why you're coming here. Just know that my main calling on this platform is talking about relationships, dating, marriage, and relationships in general, and how the feminine energy, masculine energy works, and just showcasing some of these real life examples. So you can see it also in race wars and and race topics, but generally I'm not really a big fan of engaging in racial topics and or tribalistic topics and stuff like that. But nonetheless, that's what you guys are talking about. I figured I should give my insight to some of your comments. As you can see, we're up to 239 subscribers. So please go ahead and continue to help us share the platform subscribe, all of that. Please help us. That will be really helpful with that. So thank you so much. Share. Just let them know I'm just here hanging out, talking, and things like that. All right. So let's get back to this. And don't forget to hit the like button on your way right now. Just do it right now. Just go ahead and boost the video with the thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right. So if I go to the comments, as a matter of fact, if I go to analytics, let me just show you. You can see the video that's blowing up the most is this video, Tariq Nasheed versus O'Shea Dick Jackson. We're getting 1,700 in the last 48 hours. So good stuff. Let's go to the now can somebody help me? What is theta? What is that? This theta. Okay, let me blow this up so you can see, right? This is a comment that I haven't had a chance to respond to. The theta on the phone is telling lies. Okay, so I guess I had somebody on the phone with me. I think that must have been either Kenneth or J Bones. Those were the only two people I've ever brought on the platform. Okay, let me go ahead and make sure that we block any bots around here. Let's see, just to make sure we keep the platform clean. All right, great. So the theta on the phone is telling lies. Malcolm X was not protected by Africans. Okay, this right here I know for a fact is a talking point from Tariq. We don't know the facts. Okay, Tariq said Africans he met with said the Negro issues are not our problem. So we don't know what context what that was said under. I would give the same grace, but I don't know. Thanks for the submission, right? I guess. So this person says Tariq. So as you can see, Tariq is the star in our comment area. I can respect that. This person says Tariq forgets that America is not owned by African with a K, Americans. It is owned by the white man. No one comes there because of Tariq or asking a visa from any black person. I'm not saying this. This is what the person says. East Africa is saying this. The decision to have Africans there is the white man's. I mean, I think we can all agree on that, right? But they're saying, the foundation of black Americans are saying that if the Matuta Kings or the what do you call it? The movement in the 60s, right? If they didn't sign some bills into place, or they had meetings and stuff like that, and they had to allow it, right? So that means FBA's allowed immigrants into America, from a standpoint of tax dollar payments, their tax dollars, voting and things like that. I told you, this is not my forte, I'm just saying, this is what they're saying, right? So, but anyway, that's what they said. So it said, so don't bother with those hateful African Americans. Okay, so this is a hateful phrase. That if you're going to, so one of the problems on all sides, this is the part where they say I'm appeasing. Fuck you if you think I'm appeasing. I am speaking to this person's point just ahead of time. Just want to give you your own dose, right? Okay, if you say hateful African Americans, why would you expect African Americans to not receive that as hateful comment? What are your goals with this conversation? You're just a troll like everyone else. You're just a troll. And you need to face the mirror and admit that. So, okay, let me guess. You're that passionate and you're just that serious? No, it's bullshit. You need to learn how to have these conversations if you're going to be productive at all. It's really, really that simple. Okay? The same thing is applicable in every relationship. You have to have emotional intelligence. What I'm about to say right now, how is it going to be received emotionally on the other side? Because every human beings, okay, are emotional. Okay? Yes, maybe on a generic scale, maybe women may express emotionally more than men. That doesn't mean men are not emotional. Okay? Meaning men, as a matter of fact, what I've seen in recent times, that men are more emotionally expressive, right? They're in their feminine energy more so than ever right now because they get into the sign language faster than most people. They start shaming, insulting before the ladies. From what I can see, maybe it's just the space I'm exposed to, but I'm seeing it a lot. Okay? So if you end all of this, right, it's hard for me to add any credibility to everything you said before. Now we know that the whitey runs the world right now. It's just what it is. And one of the things we're struggling with as black men is that we don't realize that it's about power, and power is taken, it's not given. It's just the reality. Okay, so let's keep fighting. Let's keep having this conversation, but I will keep pressing that into you until you realize that, right? So it is what it is. I agree that on the grand scale of things, if white men don't want us in America, we're not going to come here. But the white men want us here because there is some kind of there's value in that in it to have us here, to have the immigrants coming. There is some kind of value. If you haven't educated yourself long enough to see what those values are, then that's really your problem. But nobody gives anything away for no reason. It doesn't exist. There is some kind of incentives, there's values, there's a phrase I'm looking for right now. It's just run from me, right? There is this vested interest. Okay? This vested interest in allowing immigrants to come into any country. Nobody just say, hey, come just because, come and use my resources. That's not how that works. Okay? So you have to sell me a little bit harder on the idea that we did you a favor. Yeah, bullshit. Nobody did anybody a favor. Everybody had a vested interest in whatever they allowed in the first place, and it is what it is, right? Now, if you feel like that's not favorable any longer, there's also a process, this due process to go through to block it if you do have the power. Okay, that's not me. I'm just saying what it is, right? All right. So, and I said word. So I didn't realize that. I didn't see the hateful AA's part of it, right? That's an hateful word right there. Now, Blue says, okay. So by the way, just in case you don't realize, we do have for every man. Let me pop this open into a new page so you can see. It's opening. All right. So if you scroll down to the home page of this platform, there is a playlist of 100 videos here called Game 100 for Men. If you're a man, you need to watch all 100 videos. Add it to your playlist, add it to your watch later list. You need to watch all of them, okay? You need to watch all of them because it's basically game, okay, that I'm giving out. And I think you need to watch every single one of them to be able to operate better in this society we're living, if you don't want to be another one complaining all over the place. Okay, but that's what this person is talking about. It's one of the videos in there called the 5 steps to let's see, 5 steps to stop being clingy as a man in a relationship. That's a real problem. A lot of people are doing that and they don't realize it, right? So he says being with your partner is fine, but not every day 24/7. Yeah, because anything that's readily available is taken for granted. It's true in relationships as well, okay? And at this point, it was like, I'm angry. I thought women want us to spend time with them. Again, it's no absolutes, right? Of course, women would like quality time, but it depends on what kind of women we're talking about. That's just one love language too, right? All right, good. So here's another person, okay? Or you're mad. FBAs, that means Foundational Black Americans. I've always welcomed you. All right, this is exactly what I just spoken to. With open arms until slot of them checked out your pages, talking about Foundational Black Americans therapy. Oh, this is a brand new channel. This channel is less than. I can show you really quickly. I'll show you. This channel started in October, so it's a brand new channel. So, yeah. I've never had one side on this conversation. I just basically play the middle. Yeah. So, because honestly, I'm not educated enough, like I've always said, to even be able to hold any kind of grounds on this topic, right? The Tariq Nashis are probably more educated than I am. I know probably Nigerians that can speak to this a little bit more than I can. And I probably will, at some point, I'll invite them. But again, this platform wasn't supposed to be just about the tribal wars, okay? It was supposed to be about relationships, okay? And some of you, that's gonna go way over your head because you're a troll anyway. That's all right. I'm not worried about you, all right? So check out your pages talking about Foundational Black Americans terribly. Okay, maybe pages of other Africans. That's what he meant. You're nothing here. Stop being jealous. It's not your museum. Oh, okay. So this is the video where some guy was asking for, where is the museum hidden? Well, it's not just Tariq that people are doing that. They did that to Jay Morrison, that raised about $10 million from black people in the name of, group economics. They did that to everyone. Everyone that's ever raised any kind of money, you're going to get pushback from the people. You're going to get people that ask you for where the money is, right? That's just a given. So if you're so focused on your project, just focus on that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about people asking for the money. As long as they donated it willingly, they donated the money willfully, right? Stop being jealous. Well, if I sound jealous, you're right. You have the right to be right. And of course, maybe you're talking about everyone else, right? Let's see here. Let's read that one last one. Then we go to our next reaction video for the day. Tariq the Godfather for most of the black YouTubers. Honestly, people forget Tariq is on his second channel. All right. I don't know what that means. I'm on my, fifth channel. Okay. If his first wouldn't have ever gotten taken down, just like mine got taken down, he would be big as Kevin Samuels. See, being big as Kevin Samuel is not, I don't know, that's not really a real accolade. I guess it's nice. Congratulations to him, but that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. There are people with way smaller channels with way more value, not economical value. Obviously, his channel, Kevin Samuel's channel, has more economical value than anybody else because that's just how it works. It's about views and advertising dollars, right? But when it comes down to other types of value that people get out of these spaces, beyond just entertainment, I would argue that there are people with literally, I don't know, 100 subscribers right now, and they have more value, right? But that's cap. You know, it's capitalism, right? So I get it. So YouTube has its foot on his neck, right? Okay, then he responded, okay. Although somebody else responded, I like Kevin Samuels, but watching his show bores me now. It's so repetitive. Yeah, at some point, it's repetition. I can't see through it anymore. And that's what you're going to find as different here. No, there's no repetitions here. We're given case by case by case, but eventually it may start to sound like repetition. You never know, but I try not to make it repetition, right? All right, so that was that really quickly. Just wanted to go through some of the comments. Please leave your comments. Please engage me. I will see. I just went through it from top to bottom. I'll spend a little bit of time here and there from time to time, right? To do that. All right. But again, thank you so much for stopping by here to watch. Okay, so if you look at lifetime of this channel, the lifetime was the first date was October. What is that? October 18, something like that. October 19. All right. And we did our first live stream on January 26th this year. So as you can see there, 24,000 views. So thank you so much for your support. We'll continue going. We'll continue going there. We have some more reaction videos to do today. So let's get to it. All right, welcome back. So we are reviewing a video from Bernard Riley. It's one of the guys with a decent sizable YouTube channel in the manosphere space. I like his content precisely. For the most part, I learned what not to say, how not to move, and I share how not to move as a man in this society. For the most part, okay. So I really appreciate this platform for that, from that point of view. So. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Awesome. Let's get into this video right
in terms of all this quote unquote power that women have. It's just in my personal opinion, women only do what men allow them to do. So I'm just confused on that.
Well, you're not talking about power right there. You're talking, are you talking about like a woman, how she deals with you in a relationship? Like, yeah, my woman, she will only do in that relationship what I allow her.
Actually, no, he's talking about power. The way we move, a lot of time when we're having these talking points, having these conversations, most men are complaining about the outrageous amount of power that women have. Okay? And that's what he's talking about.
Or to get, allow her to get away with. I mean, she ain't that chick that's constantly trying to get away with something. But yeah, if I let her do something wrong and then I No, if she do something wrong and I don't say nothing about it, and then it just becomes a normal thing that she does, and then yeah, I'm letting her get away with it. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about overall because I'm hearing a lot of talk about like we need to galvanize men and work to change the laws. I'm like, what laws exactly?
You don't think that it would be a good law that if we could get something like when a child is born, it's
this guy's
automatically
entered the
50-50
lion's
custody
den.
no matter what?
He's entered the lion's den. He said, what law? Oh my God, they're about to bite his face off right now. Just watch.
In theory, yes, but at the same time, I think we got to be more responsible with who we have kids with. Like the majority of
I mean, the men do say that to the women a lot. Like, you got to be responsible for all the Pookies and the Rays, and shout out to Anna, all the Percys and the Tyrons that you sleep with. You got to be responsible for that, right? So now he's saying, men, don't you want to be responsible for who you have babies with? But watch, the pushback is real, okay?
Man, that's a damn cop out, man. Like,
wait, somebody could not hold their cool any longer. One of the people on the panel, I think there are 3 people on the panel on the right hand side, right there, right? They couldn't hold their cool anymore, right? Let's keep going.
But what I'm saying is, a woman cannot get pregnant without your seed, and you voluntarily gave it to her.
Dude. When men have sex,
he said, dude. All right. So again, we're talking about power. Let's first of all talk about what kind of power do women have. The power they're talking about when it comes to the laws, right? It's real. The biases at the courthouses, it's real. It's a real thing. If you find yourself in a courthouse as a man, you become vulnerable. You're going to get your feelings hurt, and absolutely the way that game is played is going to be unfair. It's just the society you found yourself as a man who claim you want to lead. So you better put your big pants on, right? What do you call it? Yeah, big pants, right? Put it back on, and then find ways to mitigate this without complaining about it, because complaining and bitching about it only make it worse. All right? That's a fact. Oh, no. Men don't have a space to talk. No, you have a space to talk. I can engage you in the comment area if you want to talk. But I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you straight up, that you complaining and losing your cool, losing your emotional, cool, calm, collected vibe will only make things worse for you. Because remember, you're still operating within that same context, that same society. It's only going to get worse if you don't remain in your masculine frame. Okay, now the power that women have, if you found yourself, for the most part, it's not absolute by the way, but for the most part, if you find yourself in the court of law, family court, right, it's associated with the police power. Okay, there are 2 different types of power that I want to spell out for you here. There's police power, there's emotional power. Okay, and what I want to do is, let me make sure. Okay, good, we're good here. What I want to do is I want to spell both of them out for you, so that you're not confused when it comes to what we're talking about here. All right, so let me blow that up really quickly for you. All right, so this is the meaning of police power. This is what police power means: the inherent power of a government to exercise. This is the government, not the ladies. Yes, effectively, by way of downstream effect, by way of cause and effect, it becomes the lady's power, right? She can weaponize it if she feels these other things I'm about to talk about, right? She can absolutely weaponize this, right? The government to exercise, the power of a government to exercise reasonable control over persons and property within its jurisdiction in the interest of the general security, health, safety, morals, and welfare, except where legally prohibited. That's police power. So when you say the women have power and all you're talking about is just the laws, then you're just talking about police power. Now, are you telling me that as a man, you can't figure out that there are other types of power that makes up the life we live, the experience we're living right now as human beings? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Well, let me point one out to you. There's one called emotional power, okay? Emotional power, let me blow this up, make sure you can read it. Emotional power in the ability to use inherently is still inherent, just like, you know, we talked about the police power, right? Inherent power of a government is actually the government's power. That's what keeps the society together. But when I'm not gonna cap about this, there's still bias, the gender bias, because we're designed. The society is designed to protect women and children. That's not something we bitch about. That's something that any man in his right mental health is actually proud of, right? All right. So now, if you are trying to leave it 70 years from now, you're part of the evolution that's going on. Sure, but you're probably going to miss out on the result you create. So, for example, we need to fight as a community to change the laws. You may actually never enjoy that if you're waiting for that power to transfer back to you. And power is never really given. Maybe society can move in a way and things will consolidate and to come back on your end, or even like one of the things that Bernard is talking about here is automatic 50-50 custody, right? Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, unfair, granted. But again, at what point am I going to point out that you're trying to compete with women here, right? All right, hold on 1 second. Don't dude me, right? Dude. Hold on 1 second, okay? That's why I created this platform, so I don't have people barking at me, right? All right, here we go. The ability to use inherently short-term emotions. Emotions are short-term in nature, right? Feelings are short-term in nature, right? Nonetheless, controls our lives, control our decisions 85% of the time for both you and I, and both men and women. Yeah, that's the reality, okay? And I'm about to continue playing that video. Watch all of these men in their emotions, and then watch all of them try to call the logic cap. Oh well, let's keep going. Short-term emotions for your long-term best interests, right? So how do you have the ability to leverage short-term emotions for your long-term best interest, or you're just gonna do and burn bridges, right? And what a lot of people are doing these days is that they're playing the fair game. Fair and unfair. It's unfair, it's unfair, it's unfair. Eventually, your vibe, your energy, the biggest piece of this pie, right, controls the dynamic of that relationship. You lose that relationship, you lose your children, you end up in a court where they're going to exercise the police power on you. The government will they actually give you a few chances. They do mediations, but ultimately, once you end up in that system, you're fucked. Is it unfair? It's up to you. You can define that as unfair, but I'm sure if you start to ask the ladies, they will have like a zillion more ways why the society is unfair for them. I'm sure of that, right? So let's keep going. Let's get back. I just wanted to make sure that you know the difference between police power and emotional power. In these spaces, we never talk about the emotional power. We're just busy arguing about the police power, and we never get anywhere with it, right? So let's go back to this.
Sex with women, that is not a declaration to have a child. So it be that.
Time out. I want to take it this route.
Wait, he has a point. Before he takes over, he has a point, right? Just because you slept with a woman doesn't mean you're given permission to have a child. I'm sorry. Do you live in this reality, or this is another fantasy line? See, this is the point where I start to question modern men. Are you sure that you're more engaged with reality or not? Because the moment you sleep with a lady, the reality, not your feelings, fuck your feelings, right? The reality is that you just given her permission to have your baby. Effectively. Never mind what it should be. I know what it should be per your opinion already. I already have an idea. It should be 50-50. She should never be allowed. You should be able to have a say. But it's not. It's not. Without the shoulda, coulda is the reality. Right? So you're not helping yourself with that ideology that you're trying to sell right there, because society is not going to buy into it, because you want to hold on to power as a man. You want to hold the key to the masculine frame that creates the world we're in. And unless you're willing to give that up, as in like drastically, right, then forget it. That's just not the reality. The moment you insert your bola inside a woman, you're just giving her permission, right, to fuck you over for life. Now, what are the chances she would do that? The chances is actually slim to not a lot. We like to paint it like everyone is getting fucked, but if that was the case, there'll be a police in front of every house in your neighborhood. So you're capping with that, All right, but let's keep going. I do know that every experience feels like it's happening to everyone. That's why it's feelings. It's just feelings, right? Every time you have a bad experience, you feel like, and especially if you find a community online where everybody's relating with each other, like a trauma bonding type of space, it feels like this is just happening everywhere. But it's not. It's just not. Okay? You just find yourself in a space where other people can relate, where somebody has struck a nerve, and there's a good chance that you're not working on healing. And I empathize with you if you find yourself in that space. Like I said, if you ever find yourself in a place just because you had sex, you're about to have a baby, congratulations to you, because that's the reality. All right, let's keep going.
I know where you're going, Ed. So, all right, you're saying a woman cannot get pregnant unless you give her your seed.
And that's a lie too.
Okay, let's stop.
My bad. I'll let the host rock.
Somebody's in his emotion saying that's a lie too. Relax. Have the conversation like gentlemen, right?
All right. let's yeah. Okay. She can't get pregnant unless you give her your seed. That is true. So once you and that woman,
I knew it. Bernard is a smart guy. Let's keep going.
Have that child, regardless of who messed up, how bad you messed up, how bad she messed up, the fact of the matter is she has all the power after the fact. So if we're talking about ways to take back some power after the fact, legally, to make it to where
at least it said legally, right? She has police power. She has legal power for the most part. She doesn't have the most important power, especially when it comes to the skill set of life that every man needs to possess: emotional intelligence and social skills. She does not. She does not. She ended up with you. There's a good chance that she sucks just as much as you do when it comes to emotional intelligence and social skills. So one thing you can do to gain some massive power back is to, number one, heal, and then approach that knowledge and wisdom that comes with emotional intelligence and social skills. And I guarantee you can probably get how to talk. It happens all the time. You're just not in a space where people have aligned themselves to learn the skill set.
It's not in a situation even with a divorce, because even with a divorce it ain't fair. But let's just not even deal with the divorce. If we're talking about changing laws to the point to where it's not just automatically her kid and you got to go to a court and pay a bunch of money and file this and file that and do all of that just to, in the end be handed every other weekend and Wednesday from 5 to 8 and have to pay for a child that you only get to see 4 days out of the month. If we're talking about that not being the case, that's something that you as a man should agree with. But I understand, like, your argument should be, yeah, we need to change these laws. We need to make it to where men don't have to go through all those loops to have their kids.
What I see is that while some laws, there's always laws that needs to be changed, especially this one, right? I see a lot of people talking about it, and they're not making that move because they will rather trauma bond on the internet rather than send a few emails to some senators and the powers that be and see if they can get some conversations going towards the people that actually matter. Most people would rather just complain and they want to say something else, but they're saying something else. Like, yeah, she took my kid. So that's all they're saying. But the truth of the matter is that they're not willing to do the work. Not only are they not willing to do the emotional work involved in maintaining a strong relationship with the mother of your kids. By the way, if she's the mother of your kids, you're stuck together for life. Literally for life. Okay? So you better still nurture that relationship. Because if this is the place where you want to burn bridges, you will suffer. You will create just more suffering for yourself. That's all that will happen. Okay? And you may want to call it unfair. I think you're entitled. I think you forget you're human. I think you forgot you created another human being with another human being. And these are relationships, nonetheless, that you need to nurture regardless. Okay? Even more so, you have to nurture this kind of relationship because your wife at home can still give you some, can cut you some slacks, give you some grace here and there because she's obviously getting value from being your wife at home, right? But when a person doesn't live in your house, they don't have any incentive. There's no reason for you to cut you any slacks or give you any kind of grace. They're human. They probably feel just as hurt just as hurt as you feel, right? So they're not gonna cut you any slacks. So the more you continue to soak yourself in that misery, right, and continue to engage with people such as misery love company type of group, right, the more you're going to make matters worse for yourself. That's just the reality. That is the fact. Not what Bernard just said. What Bernard just said is maybe scientific textbook facts. But we're talking about relationships now. So it's a little bit bigger than that. We're talking about minds, people's hearts involved, people's children involved. People have people talking like this in their ears, influencing them. Television, other people's story, reality TV shows. Not so reality become reality, right? So you have to learn all of these different nuances and layers and learn how to use them in your favor. How are you going to do that without social skills and emotional intelligence? It's impossible. The laws are not going to help. The laws will probably never change in your favor unless you change the social construct altogether. I know. It's sad, but true.
In their lives and blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, let's be careful, fellas. Then we got no pushback. But when I brought up the laws and let's make it 1 week on, 1 week off. How about that? You was like, well, yeah, in theory. That's basically saying
it's not in theory. You're saying theory. In reality, that would never happen. There are many other reasons why that would never happen. There are people that have been given exactly that, and it's always fall on one side when it comes to specifically that. There may be other ways that you get value from that person, your baby mother, your baby father, but when it comes to that specific thing, there's no such thing as 50-50 in life. The way you say it, when it, like theoretically speaking, like it's just math, that's not how life works. It just doesn't. Even if you get what you want.
No, let's let them keep the power. Let's just make sure that we just in a constant perpetual walking on eggshell state. That's basically what you're saying.
Also,
so when you practice emotional intelligence and use your social skills, they call it walking on eggshell, because you have to bark at her face for you to feel like a man. That's what he's saying. Walk on eggshell. No, it's not called walking on eggshell. It's called you talk too fucking much. You give yourself away. You give your power away because you talk too much, and no one is going to sit there and listen to bullshit when they have their own feelings, because everyone only cares about their own feelings. So if you're not aware of that, you're gonna hurt yourself. You call that walking on eggshell. No, it is not. It is not working on eggshell. Okay? There's power in silence.
What I'm saying is that in my personal opinion, men are always 100% responsible for what happens to them because they are men. Once you start talking about
what does that have to do with the laws? What is that? It's not about somebody's fault. If you let's stick to.
So I would agree that the guy that's talking is not really putting himself forward, his case points forward properly. I would agree with that, but nonetheless, he has a point, right? They would rather talk about the laws because it makes them feel better. Why you talk about the laws to each other? Go start signing some kind of petition or something. Get to work. Start signing petition. Right? Start signing petition.
The 50-50 custody. What does that have to do with that needing to change? And it being 50-50 custody automatically? Because you said they're both responsible.
There's no such thing as automatically. I'm going to pick your words apart. These words are wrong. They're not applicable because we're talking about real life relationships involved. You had a baby with a person, a whole baby, not a dog, not a goat. A whole baby with a person. It's not as simple as your stupid math, your theoretical math. It's just not. You have a relationship with that person, even if they're not talking to you right now. Precisely, that makes it a relationship. Because if you didn't matter, if they were indifferent, they'll be able to talk to you.
For having a kid 100%, right?
Wrong.
So what I'm saying is this. Since you know what the law is, why did you have that baby? It's really that simple.
He didn't have.
You starting?
Yes,
I think
he's about to get angry.
He's starting from a false premise that
what you're saying is, Clarence,
100%.
everything is a man's fault, and
yeah.
Here we go. So every time we're trying to point out to you that you have more power than police power that you feel has been taken away from you, now is the man's fault. Every time we tell you that you need to engage emotional intelligence and social skills, everything is a man's fault. Every time we tell you to back off a little bit so you can see what the hell you're playing with, that's a man's fault. What about no? Calm down. We're telling you that you're disengaging your power by yelling at the top of your lungs online every day. You need to look a little bit closer. Step away and look closer. You're disengaging from your power, your leverage point. When you talk about power, you cannot talk about power without talking about leverage point. Your leverage point is not your voice. It's not you yelling at the top of your lungs. Your leverage point is emotions, learning how it works and learning how to use it to your advantage, right? You don't have to talk quietly like me, by the way. You can still talk with a deep voice and exercise some emotional intelligence, right? You can still be yourself, just a better version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's what we're talking about, right? Precisely, you're disengaging from your power by going to that talking point all the time. Oh, so everything is a man's fault. No. Faults are irrelevant. It's not anyone's fault. It's just the way the world works right now. And if you disengage from your power by looking for people to point fingers at, you will hurt yourself over and over and over again, because you're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with a person you're in a personal relationship with. It doesn't matter if you're divorced or not. Okay? As long as at least you're within the first 18 years of the life of that baby, you're stuck with them. And yelling at the top of your lungs or arguing semantics all day long online is not going to help you. What you need to learn is that, what does this person care about? That's emotional intelligence. What is it that because they still care about something. What is it that they care about? Learn how to use that, leverage that as a leverage point to your advantage. If they care about something, I know you think all women are psychopaths and they just don't care. That's false. That's because you haven't listened long enough. You're not patient enough. Something that I think Bernard is calling walking on eggshells. Do you call that walking on eggshells? You're gonna work on glass if you don't get it together. Okay, you're gonna hurt yourself.
That's an oversimplification of life, bro.
And I'm saying that as a man, you are responsible for what you do. Is that not true?
So am I responsible? Hold on. So, okay, let me say it this way.
That's quick. No, the short answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Bernard. Okay. Like, listen, that's a straightforward answer right there. The answer is yes. Right? Why? The people on the panel are caught up in their emotions.
But hold on. Time out. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this.
Time out means shut up, by the way. Time out always means shut up. It's not supposed to, but when people are caught up in their emotions and they time out, that's shut up. It's rude. It's rude behavior. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's in what context you say it in. Okay? But just wanted to say that, wanted to say that just in case somebody's listening.
Going somewhere with this. If you get married to a woman and a woman decides to divorce you on some no-fault divorce,
how are you 100%?
So you gonna still pull that same shit?
That's why I said faults are not relevant, but people just don't pull no-fault divorce for the most part. Majority of the time, right? There are things that continue to decline in that marriage. That marriage was a shithole that you knew, but you continue to perpetuate nonsense, and eventually she may have gained her power and pulled the plug. Oh, okay, you know what? Let me stay on your side. She was just a mad psychopath. We just wanted to belong to the streets and pull the plug. Still, you are in the real world. You're a man in the real world. Faults are irrelevant. Blame, guilt, condemnation, judgments are irrelevant. For as long as you continue to make those things relevant, you will hurt yourself in your own soul. And then you will actively try to hurt the other person, because hurt people. And that's always going to backfire, because you're not going to play that game better. Let me tell you something. Madness is everywhere. You think you're mad, there's probably somebody that's madder than you, right? You think you're crazy? There's probably somebody that's crazier than you, right? And then you're going to put yourself in a vulnerable state. They will use the police power against you because you don't want to walk on eggshell, right? All right.
That means I picked the wrong woman.
Okay, so just say it's always the man's fault, and the woman has no accountability to nothing.
Wait, so when it comes to the woman, it's accountability. When it comes to the man, it's a fault. No, it's a matter of accountability. It's a matter of responsibility as a man. It has nothing to do with fault. Fault means you're pointing a finger at somebody, right? No, it's not a matter of pointing finger at somebody. It's about pointing finger at where's the leverage point. Your leverage point is to not be soaked up and be so engaged and obsessed with whose fault is it, right? If you're obsessed with whose fault it is, you will hurt yourself over and over again because it's everyone's fault. Oh yeah, that's a cop, right? Whatever, right? But you can keep coming back here and I'll keep showcasing these examples for you, right? But this is real. It happens all the time. Okay.
Add that in there so I know what you want.
That's philosophically not.
Clarence.
What I'm saying.
Hold on, wait.
What I'm saying.
Hear me on this, man.
And just get some last word from Bernard.
Hey, brothers, we got to take more responsibility. Then look,
that's not what he's saying.
If he was saying that, we would be with you on that. But you can't. You came in with the premise. I'm sorry. You was like, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what power do they have. If even in a divorce where the children were born into the marriage, if the woman gets the kids 90% of the time, and according to every attorney I ever taught.
All right, so let's just end that right there. Here's the point right here, okay? If she doesn't feel emotionally invested in you, yes, your ex-wife can feel emotionally invested in you. There are ex-wives that want to leave, but they don't want to hurt you, okay? Probably because of their children, probably because of emotional attachments, probably because they're trying to figure some things out. If she doesn't feel any emotional attachments to you, that means you have no emotional power, okay? That means you also probably have zero police power. Well, everyone has zero police power, but she has the power to leverage that police power against you because of the social construct that we live in. And it is what it is. It's sad. It's unfair. I get it. I get the point. But I'm telling you, if you continue to engage in this conversation over and over again, you're going to continue to hurt yourself. You need to find a way to engage your emotional power. So you can use, it doesn't matter how long ago the divorce was, you can still use it because they still have a relationship with you. But the first step is you need to find out what they care about. Well, I don't care. I don't care about finding out what she cares about. Well, that's your problem right there. Awesome, welcome back. So we're talking about the Lapeef network right now. All right, we got a video here that we're going to just jump right in and react to. The title of this video, by the way, go ahead and subscribe to Lapeef network. So I want you to, when you come back here and we react to it, I want us to be able to engage and continue to react to some of this talking points. I am a fan of that platform, so I like it. And kudos to Lapeef because it keeps bringing some more well-rounded conversations like the Lees, like the, like some more well-rounded conversation as opposed to the straight-up gender war on Thursday nights. So, but it's fun watching them. I'm a big fan. I will continue to watch. I will continue to react within the fair use guidelines here, like I'm about to right now. So let's jump right into this short video clip right here. Let's see.
So my question is this: on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is money to you in terms of the man you choose?
It's not that important.
On a scale.
So this is real life. All right. The part that this is real life, okay? This just happened in real time. Well, it's pre-recorded, but you get the point. You get the gist, right? All right. I'm picking this up for the first time. I've watched the video, of course, before I'm reacting to it. But this particular part right here, I'm picking up for the first time. I want you to look at JR's face, right? It seems like I don't know if it's a confirmation of something they already knew or if he's surprised. I want you to look at the humble dad's face, right? The humble dad is gonna get, they're gonna attempt to try to humble him today, right? On this reaction, but I want you to look at Kay's face. She meant that shit. She meant every word she just said. Not only that, it looks like she may be on her way out of the network. Now, here's my prediction. I think she's going to leave the network eventually. Okay? What's going on, Information Man Show? Thank you for stopping by, my brother. Thank you. I have seen you on other platforms. Thank you so much. All right. So, this is my prediction. Kay is going to be leaving that platform soon. Okay? There's only so much a human being can take. Just a human being in general, right? Not to, how much more a woman, But let's look at the nature of the answer she gave. They asked her a question that needed a number answered, right? They gave her a scale. This is men trying to narrow the human mind down to exact words, right? Exact scientific answers, right? Men keep trying to do this and they keep failing at it because it's not going to work. There's a way a woman is set up with respect to the societal construct, the social construct that we live in right now, okay? It's all open-ended. When we talk about emotions, it's open-ended. There's no limit to it. When you talk about the power of the mind, you can create like 50 movies in your heart, right, in your mind right now, in this moment in time. You could say, have you ever slept for a second? You slept for about 15 minutes, right? And then there's a full-blown 20 movies that played out in your dream in 15 minutes. And you're like, you look at the time, you're like, wait, it's only 15 minutes. Because the sleep was just that deep, right? That's the power of the mind. So you can kind of like correlate that with how the woman mind work, right? The typical woman's mind, right? When you ask them a question that requires like a numbered answer, something like that, they're thinking of all the different possibilities. See, you're zoned in on the exact number you're looking for, but they're thinking of all the possibilities, right? She thought about it, right? So let's repeat this point again. I want you to watch that spot again where what's his name? Trill asked the question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is money to her in a relationship?
How important is money to you in terms of the man you choose?
In terms of the man you choose.
It's not that important.
She didn't say it's not important. Wait. She even added another layer of emotions to it. She said it's not that important. I mean, I'm still thinking. Let me check my feelings, right? Right. So why is it that men continue to be surprised about this? That's my question for you. Why are men surprised over and over and over again? And why are they actively trying to force women to be otherwise when you can just see it as what it is and learn how to operate within that place and still win? Right? Let's keep going.
On a scale of 1 to 10, ma'am.
All right, look at Anton. Anton is frustrated, right? It's not that deep. It's just a show. But he's frustrated, right? Okay, let's keep going.
Pick a number.
And JR is like undefeated. He's right. Women are undefeated, especially modern women, right?
It's not that important. I think that if I had to pick a number, your fault. I don't know.
Wait.
I don't.
Did Q just say
Pick
something?
a number.
Oh, Q. So Q tends to be, Q already said she used to be a tomboy. She plays sports and all that kind of stuff. All those kind of things shows up in your personalities, by the way, in weird ways, right? So she goes, just pick a number. She tried to say it nicely, right? No, she could not interpret that question that way. That question did not have a simple answer. And gentlemen, I gotta keep telling you, this exact science questions don't have simple answers, okay? They may have simple answers by way of textbook, right? Theoretically, from a theoretical standpoint, right? Yes, but the truth is that in reality, there's no such thing as exact science. That's why science continues to stay in the lab too, right? That's why there's ongoing studies. That's why every data, empirical data you pull up right now is a lagging indicator. There's new realities playing out as we're talking right now. And if we don't realize that, that's shortage on emotional intelligence. This is why we're suffering. This is why you're losing your woman. This is why you're not getting laid. Because you think because you're a good guy, it should just be easy. Yeah.
It's not that important. I think that if I had to pick a number, your fault. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I think that I look at people holistically. I just can't. I mean,
let me show beautiful.
Like I said,
Courtney's
y'all
face.
have every option to not answer or give context or whatever you want to do for any question that I ever ask or anyone asks. But I think that
those are good ones, Trey.
It's just different depending on the person.
I tried.
Going on. I mean, like I said, I think earlier in my experience, if
so the facial expression of the guys, let me be nice to them. I think they already know what's going on right here. I think Kay doesn't know what's going on. I think Kay probably at some point figured it out, and then she tried to, now I'm gonna stay in my square, right? Because she's a very smart girl. Don't get it twisted. She's very smart, extremely smart. Okay, so she knows what it's doing, but she's still a woman. How long is it gonna take us men to understand that a woman is still a woman? It doesn't matter if she's modern or pick me. Regardless, a woman is a woman. 100% undefeatable. It's ocean. The feminine energy is an ocean. You have to learn how to navigate it. You can't force it into a corner. That's not how it works. You can't force it into a corner. So you're not gonna force her to say some kind of scale right now. It's like asking a woman on a scale of 1 to 10, can you rate yourself? She's gonna tell you either 7 or fuck you.
someone can't take care of themselves, they often project a certain thing, So I don't know. I don't know if that's the money aspect or if that's the person aspect. I don't know.
What do you teach, Kay?
All the
special education.
So
why is that funny?
Listen, that's
all right. So that wasn't funny. If you understand how this place work, you can't say that. That's not funny, But I guess some people are open to getting canceled just so they can use it as a flag that, hey, I got canceled, right? But it's not necessary. Special education is people can easily start to feel shamed and they can cancel your ass, okay? So let's keep going.
I taught special ed, bro. Listen,
why is that funny?
Great teachers that are needed. I'm asking because it sounds like you're great on the
special education funny?
Now she's taking it personally, right? I get it. It's a show. It's not that deep. But this actually plays out in real people's life every day, especially when they pretend like it's not that deep. It creeps into their personal life and they wonder what's going on. How did that happen? Yeah, because you've been soaking yourself in the wrong content way too much without guarding yourself or guarding your heart, right?
I wasn't laughing.
People were laughing like as if.
No. Q was already laughing. Q was laughing at the original answer.
The right not to answer that question.
Okay.
She exercised a right not to answer the question. See what I said? She's actually a lot of men will say she's more feminine. I think she does exude feminine energy, but what she says, a lot of things she says, she's actually more so in a masculine. In those times when she sounds like she's speaking logic, that's generally a woman who is more so, more engaged with a masculine energy. That is not a negative thing. We keep painting that as a negative thing. It's only negative if it's misplaced. Let's say she's in a relationship with a man. In that space, in that context, that would need to be toned down, depending on what kind of man she's with. There is no absolute to these things, right? It's just energy. Right, it's just energy that needs to be guarded. needs to be guided, needs to be properly directed, right? That's all it is.
Humble dad. I teach elementary school, so all the subjects.
All right. Do you grade on a rubric?
For some things, yeah.
That's what I thought. Nothing wrong. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
See what you're doing, humble dad? You enabling it.
I just don't see.
All right, so Anton is humble dad is enabling. Just because you're patient enough to hear where somebody is coming from is not enabling. It's called emotional intelligence. It's called engaging your power, because when you allow them to feel heard, you can actually control them a little bit better. If you have to control, by the way, it's no need to control another human being, but sometimes you want to influence them, maybe not necessarily control, but influence them in the direction you want to create the result you're looking for. And it takes patience, it takes time to allow them to feel heard. And if you're not patient, don't be in a relationship with that person. Really simple. If you're that much of in a hurry, just get out of a relationship with a person, right? This is, again, it's not that deep, it's a show, but it happens in real people's lives, right? Let's keep going.
No, I'm not.
About special
I understand how she be answering, why she answer how she answers.
Oh my God! I can't believe you simping right now, humble dad.
Bro.
Oh, now it's simping. Now it's simping just because he has patience. Now that's called simping, right? And people that call you simps are very quick to go in the direction of sign language. Watch it. It's about to be some shaming and insulting. Well, it's not insult until he receives that insult, but at least the shaming part, right? All the need to be right. Oh, interesting. They always call it first.
Why I gotta be a simp? Because I understand.
I didn't tell you was a simp. I said you simping.
How am I simping?
It's simping.
What's
it's not
the
a simp.
definition of that, so I can be clear?
Okay.
And we were
You the second.
Oh, there is a difference. You could be simping in the moment, and you could be just an ultimate simp, like a beta male for life, right? I guess.
Person that has said this.
Yeah. So clearly, I'm not the only person that noticed it.
So explain. I don't know what it means necessarily.
Because you let.
Of course, majority of the little boys in the chat at Lapif Network, I can disrespect them here. I can't disrespect them over there. Of course, majority of them will call this simping. Anytime you understand a K and try to hear where she's coming from, it's called simping, right? Yeah.
People get away with stuff that intentionally know, like she knows that she's gonna get away with this with you. She understands what she's doing. If you don't think that this woman is
all right, so that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems. We think that we are superhumans. We think that women are actually deliberate about the way they move. We think it's all intentional. And then we put on this cap and we try to be intentional. We're intentionally unintentional, right? We put ourselves on a pedestal. We think we figured these things out, right? And then she's just evil. Tell me how a young man is not going to see her. Like if you ask a direct question, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love me? And she said, babe, this is, and she started talking like that. And a young man is going to go into like, you don't love me? Right? Okay, let's go back to the original. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does money matter? Right? If she can't give a straight answer, like 10 or 1, a lot of young men will say, all you care about is money. You're just a gold digger, right? And then we're misleading that young man, right? The truth of the matter is that women don't care about the money. They care about the security, the sense of security that a provider can bring to the table, right? How do I know? Because ultimately, majority of them settle. That's the fact of the matter. Even those that run their mouth, even those that say, hey, I want, I want a rich man. A bullshit cap. That part is cap. For the most part, right? For the most part, they settle eventually. If they don't settle, eventually they get with the rich person. They realize that money is not everything. That's it. Like if the guy is just a lame, and he's just a rich lame, eventually, things get watered down. Anything that's readily available gets taken for granted. So they've seen money, they've been there, done that. They can leverage police power against you and find a reason to divorce your ass because you're lame. It's not your fault. It's just what it is, right? So here we go with all that you're simping, you're enabling, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
is smart enough to know what she.
Listen, an adult woman smart enough doesn't mean she's not a woman. Doesn't mean she's not a part of the social construct. The social construct, the context we live in which case a natural woman generally answer questions open-ended. They rather do that than give you a straight answer, because the way they operate, they are creators. They multiply everything you give them into multiple folds and multiple layers and multiple dimensions, as opposed to you that you're just linear. You want just a straight answer. That's not how a typical woman operates, their mind. That's not how it works. Doesn't mean they're not smart. They're extremely smart. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, they are smarter in that sense. A lot of them can actually explain this probably better than I do. Actually, majority can't. They can't put it into words. But you get the point, right? Let's keep going.
He's doing on purpose. And then know that people like
Wrong.
you are going to give into it, which enables her bad behavior. That's literally simping.
She's not doing it on purpose.
Okay. Okay, if that's what you say. If I'm saying that I understand what somebody's saying, I don't think that's me simping.
She didn't even answer the question.
Now, if you look at the mannerism of Humble Dad and you compare that to Anton Daniels seems like he's the alpha male. He's about to hold him accountable, right? Be bullshit. Cap, okay, is bullshit. That guy is maintaining a better frame, if you ask me, right? And they will get away with a lot more every single day of the week, right? Because again, back to the talking points, because I like Anton. Back to the talking point, okay? The bottom line is that understanding or paying attention to understand where this person is coming from is not simping, okay? It's not simping now, it's not simping ever, okay? It's emotional intelligence. Him having the knowledge, I don't know what he said, something about the, I don't know, something that she grades or something like that. I think if you pick up that word, please leave it in the comments, right? Him understanding that and being able to relate that to the way she answered the question is understanding. Now, my understanding is that she's just a woman, a typical woman. Q is beautiful. She's not a typical woman. She's an athlete, like she said. She's a tomboy. She hang out with the guys, type of girl. I know them types. They can probably relate with us a little bit more and speak our language a little bit, but most women are not like that. A typical woman is not like that. You're probably going to end up with a typical woman. She's still smart, but you need to understand how her mind operates, right? Especially within romantic context. Especially within a romantic context. You will need to have the skill set, or else you will frustrate yourself. Look at the frustration on Anton's face right now. You just be frustrated every single day of the week. But I've seen Anton speak to understanding this before, so I think it's just this moment. He's the one simping to the guys in his comment area right now. If you ask me, he's pandering to them heavy.
Okay.
Trill just gave her a regular question.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that. What I literally said was I understand why she answers. I'm not agreeing with how she answers. I'm saying because she grades on a rubric, that means that there is open for interpretation. That's why she talks.
So you
like
telling me that a Rubik's Cube?
Not Rubik's Cube. That's not what he said.
No, I'm not agreeing.
Rubik's Cube is the answer for why she moved.
No.
Yeah, I don't agree with that too.
No, it's a
Rubik's Cube.
It's like has different ways of grade. Like you say, okay, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? It's not like a score. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not.
It's not. It's just a woman thing, a typical woman thing. If you ask them a straightforward question that requires it, they may just answer with like it was an open-ended question, and that's just how they. Unless they're in an exam, or in an exam hall somewhere, they have to do a test or something like that. That's the only way you probably can get a woman to answer you a straightforward answer like that. They have all the what ifs. They want to access all the what ifs in their answers, and that's just how they operate. And you need to understand that. You need to be patient for that. And if you're not patient for that, yes, it's a big deal that you can end up in a divorce court. Absolutely.
I'm not exonerating her from how she responds.
You ain't holding her accountable either.
What's that?
You ain't holding her accountable either.
This holding women and adults accountable bullshit. Here we go again. Now he needs to hold her accountable like that's his wife or something. It's bullshit. Bullshit. There's nothing to hold accountable. It's something to understand. Listen and lean in and understand. That's just the way they are. for the most part.
On that question, I didn't.
Or
Nobody
anything.
did.
Just look at Courtney's face. It looks like Courtney understands what's really going on, right? Courtney is more so in her feminine energy, more so than Q, more than half the time. Just from I don't know them personally. I've interacted with Courtney a little bit, but we're YouTube friends. I have never interacted with Q, right? Just off of my observation, Courtney is more in her feminine energy on these platforms more. Her talking points doesn't necessarily align with that. But energy, learning how to read energy, the most effective form of communication or most effective communication channel, right, is something that as a man, you need to learn how to. Yeah, men will say, so I need to be reading minds. Yes, precisely. Oh, so it's always a man's fault. If that's how you interpreted what I just said, yes.
Yeah. Nobody held her accountable on that.
Here.
Or any question for that
Say
matter.
anything. So she's
You need to go back and watch, bro. I did.
I hold her accountable.
How's that working out, Anton? You hold her accountable. How is that working out? You hold Kay accountable all the time. She just went off the screen. She left. I think she's counting now. I think she's gonna leak that platform. I think so. That's my prediction. Okay. That's my prediction. Let's keep going.
No, I'm saying I've held her accountable before as well. I have. Not on this particular episode, but I have.
Humble dad, listen, I'm just.
Hey, don't let them get you off your square, humble dad. Just stay humble. There's no need to hold women who are adults, as they claim, accountable. You can ask them questions. You can engage them as an adult, but you should also have expectations that they're women. You shouldn't have unrealistic expectation that they should think like men and think like men and not feel and all this bullshit. They're thinking, they're feeling, all this bullshit. Everyone is feeling. Everyone, including Anton right now. Maybe not so much right now, but for the most part, right? So yeah, see here. Let's keep going.
Just telling you, fam. Listen, respectfully, that type of woman will run laps around you.
Bullshit. They're on laps around people that talk too much. Okay? They're on laps around people that talk too much. And here's why. Let me just go ahead and play this one and I make this part of it. This is a short video from Robert Greene, the author of The Heart of Seduction and the author of 48 Laws of Power. Okay? And this is his fourth law. And everyone needs to read this book and learn how to apply it as opposed to just reading it. Read it a few goddamn times, right? Come on, man. Come on, gentlemen. Let's go. I'm going to play Robert Greene for you really quickly, and then we'll call this reaction a wrap. And then we got one more that we will do quickly. Let's go to Robert Greene.
We say less than necessary. Law number 4. And it's the fact that by talking too much in a meeting or in any kind of situation,
always say less than necessary. A lot of holding women accountable is talking too fucking much. That's all it is. You're doing a lot of talking. You're not creating results. You're not creating results. You're not attracting respect either. Respect is 100% earned. Now, the thing with respect is that a lot of people try to turn it to semantics. No, respect is something you give to everyone. No, we're talking within a relationship context, right? You may have the bare minimum respect before a person gets to know you. Once they get to know you, you will continue to earn respect or you will lose it. That's the way it works. Okay? So back to always say less. The more you say, the more respect you lose. Okay? It's a serious correlation there. You have to pay attention to 100% of the time. Okay? Especially if you're a man.
situation, you make people inadvertently smell weakness on you. A lot of
especially women, they smell the weakness. The louder you are, they smell it as weakness. That's a fact.
Communication between humans is nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. We feel, we sense something from you, and it
sense.
communicates.
See, he didn't say men or women. We feel, we sense. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. We feel, we sense. That's the most major, most important communication channel right there. We sense it. We smell it. We sniff it. We can sniff your weakness, especially if you're loud as a man. Calling it, holding it accountable. Not Anton in particular right now, because I've seen him demonstrate that he can handle this conversation a little bit better, right? But for people that say this all the time, holding accountable is useless for the most part. We just like to build our community, you know, help our community grow a little bit better because our women needs to do better. Yeah, bullshit. That's not your leverage point. Your leverage point is how do you show up as a person, right? Helping some of these young men show up a little bit better into relationships with these young ladies, right? That's our biggest leverage point. Now, it can help if women can help, but if you don't work on the major leverage point, you're just going to disappoint another woman. She's going to try to be feminine. That thing is not a decision, it's energy, right? She's going to try, and then she's going to try, it's still going to fail, and then she's going to be disappointed. And then she will loop us all together and say, men has come.
And we have an impression. And people who talk a lot generally give an impression of they don't know how to control themselves. Whereas
most people holding people accountable lack self-control. That's all it is. You couldn't be patient to engage another adult who is a woman, who happens to be a woman, in a way that you can understand them, they can feel understood, they can feel heard, and they can gravitate towards understand you too. They will multiply. The feminine energy multiplies. It comes out and multiplies everything you sow as a seed. But you lack self-control and you lack patience, right? You're in a hurry.
People who kind of say a little bit less, you know, who kind of speak in riddles almost, who say, yeah, that's great, I'll think about it. Or
speak in riddles.
Or whatever, gives off an impression of power, as if they know more than they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Always say less than necessary.
Always
say less than necessary. Law number 4.
Always say less than necessary. This is very important. This is very important. Always say less. Always. This is not after time. This is not just sometimes. This is. Don't be so predictable. We can tell. The ladies can smell. They can sniff your weakness from afar, just because you're just loud. Just because you're loud. All right. So we got one last one to run through today. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you.
Because if I'm being for real, most dates are meant.
All right, so let's talk about this video. This is a video where we're gonna try to work within the fair use guidelines here. From 8 at the table, go follow it. I'm gonna react to some videos from there a lot. A gift that keeps giving, great content. Shout out to those guys over there. But let's watch this video. They're talking about 50-50 split, bill split on a date, and let's see how this conversation plays out. Let's see how this plays out.
Men's idea.
Yes. I agree.
It's a man's to be there. Because if I'm being for real, most dates are men's idea.
Yes. I agree.
It's a man's idea. So how you gonna be asking me if I'ma pay because I got it? See, you asked me to come outside. You pay the damn bill.
All right, so Ola, this is me right now. I'm talking to myself. Ola, you've been out of the game for 15 years. You don't know shit. The game has changed. Right? Is that the part? That's the spot right here, right? The game has not changed. People have not changed much. They may have evolved. Social, societal, you know, how we relate with each other may have evolved. We're probably more on social media, more so than 2007 when I got married. Maybe. But humans are humans. This thing is consistent. Oh, by the way, either you're dating, in a relationship, or in a marriage, is the same shit. game is required. Okay, when I say game, I mean social skills and your emotional intelligence. Okay, that's really what I mean. If your game is all physical, you're going to fail. Okay, you're going to fail because that only lasts for so long, right? If your game is all you know how to get to the bag, you got money, that's gonna fail. How many times have you? Well, the richest people in the world, Bill Gates, and what's his name? Jeff Bezos lost their wives. So I mean, that should tell you a lot, right? So there's more. There's obviously more to this. Let's keep going. So a man goes out on a date, and we're in a conversation about splitting the bills. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, how you gonna tell her? You're gonna tell her like, yo, she gotta pay the bill?
Listen.
Because the day was trash. She feel the same way about you.
No, she don't.
Yes, she does.
No, she don't.
Yes, she does.
I'm gonna tell you something about me.
You don't think a bad date is gonna be mutual?
The date is going bad.
Okay, so because it's a bad date, that warrants you asking the young lady to pay for the bills. All right, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Okay, that's straight bullshit. And this is why you're struggling. Okay, young man, that's why you're struggling on the dating scene, because you're actively competing with the ladies. It's just not fair. Anytime you find yourself saying it's just not fair, you're competing with women. If you're competing with women, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse all the time. Let's keep going.
Bad is not only in your part, it's in both parts. I'm not having fun either. I don't want to pay for that date either because I'm not having fun. That's even worse.
Then we go.
So if you're not having fun, she should just split the bill with you. Okay, and that makes it what, even?
Going 50-50 because
we're not going 50-50.
I don't like you and you
we're
don't.
Not going 50-50.
Oh wait, you went on a date with a person you don't like, or you found out that you don't like them?
Do not like you and you do not like
but you know what, Danny? If you even agreed to go 50-50, you know it's trash, he know it's trash, and you both not talking to each other no more.
All right, so let me just say this. Any advice, relationship advice, dating advice, relationship advice, marriage advice that has the word both in it is probably bullshit advice, okay? Because there's no such thing as two people coming to the table at the same time and decide to do the right thing. It doesn't exist, okay? Usually, somebody is sowing a seed and the other person multiplies and reciprocates. Okay, somebody is giving first before the other person can receive, and eventually the dance continues and it becomes more second nature. And then you see what you call, what you may have called, what do you call it? You call it marriage goals, relationship goals, right? It's because somebody decided to give first. Relationship is a place you go to go give and give and give. No more, no less, okay? The moment you engage relationships in the give and take mindset, it's a mindset, okay? You're setting up expectations effectively. That's equivalence, right? Usually, that's unrealistic expectations. And the number one thing that's killing relationships and marriages is unrealistic expectations. It's the idea that this person is going to be 100% all the time and do the right thing, right? So it just doesn't work. So now she's saying both. The young lady is saying both. I'm holding everyone accountable on this platform right now. Both, y'all both. There's no y'all both, okay? The man is supposed to be leading. The moment the man is not leading, even if the woman actually agrees to not leading, to like, let's just do everything equally. Because some women will come out and say, hey, you know what? I like my man. I like us to be partners and all this kind of shit, right? They will say that. It's still your responsibility as a man to lead, right? You don't need a permission. If you need permission to lead, you fail. She can smell it, she can sniff it, she can sense it. Eventually, she cannot be attracted to you. All right, so let's just say this is a situation like this young man is saying. I don't like you anymore, and I need us to split the bill. All right, words do get around. Not only do words get around, that energy that you're giving into this context right now probably follows you everywhere you go, and you haven't noticed that it's the same energy and it's the same reason why you're single and why you can't maintain a long-term relationship, provided you want it. Most of you want it anyway, right? Most of you are lover boys, Mr. Nice Guys, that you really want a girl to really like you, but you're capping and you want polygamy. Bullshit. Most of you want a girl, you want to fall in love with a girl. That's just what it is, right? And I will keep calling that cap. Let's keep going here.
So y'all got an even out.
But that's
of the
It
situation.
depends on the woman, because a woman like me, I'm gonna walk out. The bid is on you. They're gonna stop you. You the
I'm gonna
baby.
leave before you,
No,
Danny.
no, you're lying. I may be like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm out.
Listen, I don't be wanting to make nothing an embarrassing situation.
Do you think if she goes to the bathroom and walks out while you're still sitting, do you think she can get away with that? I don't know. I don't know what that scene looks like today. What do you guys think? If a woman just walked to the bathroom and walked away, can she get away with that while the man is still sitting? I don't know. That's a dangerous game. But again, I'm not listening to the ladies here. I'm paying attention to the gentleman in the middle, and I'm trying to see what is coming out of his mouth right now.
I'm gonna tell you, like, on a real situation, and this is being real, right? This is being real. I told you.
You walked out on a date. I know.
No, I never walked out on no date, right? But I'm telling you, I'm not speaking for all men. I'm speaking for what I deem as a high valued man.
Okay.
So as a high valued man, unfortunately, guess what?
Can somebody help me? What does that mean when you say as a high value man? What does that mean? I don't understand. That kind of threw me off for a loop right there. What does that mean? I'm a high value. Does that mean you make money? You make 6 figures? Is that what that means? I think value is in the eyes of the beholder by the very meaning of value. Let me see what value means real quick. I think it's in the eyes of the beholder. I think the market determines the value, not the other way around, right? Value, the regard that something is held to deserve. So you don't tell yourself what you deserve, right? Or what the importance, the worth, or usefulness of something. A person's principles, standards of behavior. Well, that's not that's not the context it's talking about. It's not talking about his principles. It's talking about how he should be seen. But he's doing the determination of that by himself. All right, let's keep going.
Ladies, my time is just as valuable as yours.
Okay.
So since my time is just as...
All right, so this is a man trying to put everything into an exact science, okay? He thinks this is let's draw a line on the table, ladies, right? Anytime you find yourself explaining or mansplaining yourself to a woman like that, it won't work. It gets worse for you, okay? It's not only in this, because this is just a show, right? I understand this is not that deep. In real life, like listen, even in marriage, listen, I'm like you too. Like I'm a man. Like sometimes I want her to get where I'm coming from to really understand the point from a logical standpoint, right? But it fails 100% of the time. Not until she feels heard. She's very smart. But if she doesn't feel heard, if her feelings get caught up in this situation, she can't think. She's not able to, okay? She can't, okay? Because I'm the husband. I'm supposed to lead, right? And if I'm not leading yet, if I'm waiting for permission to allow me to lead, it will continue to fail. So it's not just, it's the same thing. Either you're dating, either your relationship is a marriage, it's the same shit. I'm telling you, it's the same thing over and over again.
valuable as yours if you wasted my time and I wasted your time. It's either you're gonna pay or we're gonna split this bill because I'm not about to pay.
But why she gotta pay?
That sounds like a petty man, not a high value man.
All, how
See, she gets to determine if you're high value. Okay, that's not. Listen, gentlemen. Okay, this is all right. I'm not pandering to her. I promise. Okay, let's be logical for a second. Just look up the meaning of value. Right, it means how the market beholds whatever we're trying to value. Okay, what they think is worth. What is a person willing to pay? What is a person willing to go through in this present moment in order to get your attention? That's what would determine value, okay? So now, it's not just a six, even if you listen to Kevin Samuel's definition, it's not just the 6 figures. It's 6 figures over time, over a 5 years period of time, because they can find it, right? And it's a lot of other things, right? So let's keep going here.
Why did the date go? Let's start with that. Why did the date go bad?
It's not me.
It's not. This man.
The thing is, and this is what I always talk about, is accountability, right? So, like, let's be a.
The same talking words, point, accountability, pondering, you're simping, the same shit. Nobody's growing. No one is growing whatsoever. Accountability. Let's see who is about to be held accountable right now. Accountability is a real thing. But if we're talking about those 4 fingers pointing at you when you're pointing at somebody else, then sure, you passed. But if you're talking about that one finger, it fails because it's just one. It's ineffective. You have to hold yourself accountable if you're going to do anything at all. At least you have to start with that.
Adults for a second. Let's not buy into the hyper gender roles, and let's not buy into the hyper traditional roles, because everybody here.
So this is the confusion with young men. They want to be traditional, but they want to be modern at the same time. 50-50, right? And that's what he's talking about. 50-50. Let's not buy into the traditional blah, blah, blah. We need to make sure it's fair. The problem is that he doesn't live in that society yet. Maybe 50 years from now. So he's going to suffer and still blame it on the opposite gender.
Doesn't believe in traditional roles for certain aspects, right? So let's actually be adults that have an open mind for a second.
Let's be adults. This is the point where you ask women to be adults. It fails 100% of the time, okay? The more you ask her to be adult, the less of an adult she becomes. She's gonna be a woman, period. Okay, that's all. The more, if you see the need to ask her to be an adult, it's gonna get worse. Let's watch this conversation get worse a little bit.
If I bring you to a place, or you bring me to a place, and we're not clicking, right? Me and you are not working out. There's something that is off. There is nothing wrong with saying, yo, listen, we don't work. We both took an L. Let's just chalk it up, and we're gonna split this bill and go our separate ways.
All right, so that makes logical sense, right? He's right that there's nothing wrong, but he's going to create a wrong impression. There's a difference between creating a wrong impression and actual something being wrong. These things are never about right and wrong. He's right, right? But he's going to create a wrong impression. The impression part, right? The part where the young lady said, that doesn't sound like high value. That sounds like petty to me. She didn't say it's petty. She said it sounds like, it's kind of like, reminds me of Kay saying, it's not that important. The open-ended form of sentences, right? Exactly.
You said you're a high value man. It's just a couple of dollars.
But it doesn't matter. But now we're gonna go back to what Amanda said, and we're gonna talk about.
He's going to effectively attract some shaming and potentially insults from her.
Principles, right? So like, it's not
principles, right and wrong, fault. Whose fault? Fair, unfair, holding accountable. Does this sound familiar?
Even about the money, because people who go out to eat with me knows I'm usually the first to try to pull my card out to pay a bill. That's just how I am, because I'm not the type of person to let somebody have a bill. I don't even feel comfortable letting people have a bill. However, if the date is not working.
But you're making the same point. You're saying if the date is not working, I think that part is clear, then you deserve 50%. You deserve to not pay 50% of the bill. All right.
If the date is not working and I, Rico, Hundo, feels like I am wasting my time, I am not going to cover yours because I've already invested once. I'm not going to invest it twice.
I just feel like that's being cheap. Just pay the date.
Remember what she just said. She feels. She's not saying it's factual. They're speaking 2 different languages. If you want to interact with the young ladies, with the fine ladies, you want to take them out on a date, you want to marry them, you want them to fall in love with you, you're going to have to engage that feeling part. After everything, you said principle, you said fair. Well, you didn't say fair. You said principle. You said, let's just be open-minded. You use all those logical talking points, right? She ended up telling you, I just feel like you're just being cheap. She didn't say you're cheap. She feels like you're being cheap. Right? Let's see how that goes.
And just leave. Just do that as a man.
Why can't you pay the date?
She said as a man. That's an insult. Yeah. Now you attracted that insult, okay? In real life, it gets worse, right? Because it's not even spoken words. It's just people's vibes are off, right? And everybody's mad at each other, right? But at least they're talking right now, right? But you can even still feel that vibe. She's insulting now. She's shaming, insulting. Let's keep going.
Just be a man. Be a man.
Okay.
You're not
Be a
being a man.
man.
And you said, you testing the water by making her pay the bill, to see if she got it. I know women that when they're going on a date, they wear their most expensive shoes, bags, act like they got it to get a high value man. They would do stuff like that
And
just to show you. But they're really after your money.
And that's why we do what we do, fellas, because we got women like that walk into
So now is engaging his feminine energy. When you say women like that, that's feminine energy. You're generalizing, right? You're now going to try. The need to be right is kicking in. Okay, you start to mansplain. It's all on and on and on. But again, the person you're talking to is speaking a different language altogether. And as the leader in society, a man, right? He just got shamed. Granted, he didn't get affected by that. Thank you. But some people are affected. Like, what do you mean, man? Are you a man? You know what a man is supposed to? They know what a man feels like. They don't know how to be a man, but they can tell you what it feels like when they engage a man, right? And when they tell you that, I think it's wise to pay attention to it. Don't with a grain of salt, of course, right? But you pay attention to it, right?
to our atmosphere, hop into our car or hop into our Uber, and they go with us to the dates because they got on a bag, shoes, or heels and a dress that some other dude has bought, and they act like they got it. And
so now we're getting jealous. Another dude bought it, and then now you're engaged in the sign language yourself. Trust me, it just gets worse. Okay, it just gets worse. I believe him. Look at his face. He's not acting. I believe exactly what he's saying. But this is precisely why modern women, this is why modern men are struggling in the dating scene. This is why modern men are struggling in the dating scene. All right. So yes, that's it today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you've been hanging out with me live, I appreciate you. If you're watching a replay later, I appreciate you nonetheless. Please like, subscribe, share this video with people you think. I'm sharing lots of lessons in this. We're talking about things that are happening right now. I'm pointing it out so you can learn how to navigate the scenes. All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.